What up, what up, what up? Back again. Got my boy Christian. Say what's up to the people.
How we doing, everybody?
All right, guys. Today, just going around the league, got some news before the Christmas break. Um, got a couple things coming up. Biggest news, probably honestly, in my opinion, has got to be the Nets kind of doing a 180 on what they've started out the season saying, and they're gonna let Kyrie play as a part-time player any road game. We haven't really talked about this. So I just want to jump on the pod, maybe get your opinion because I've heard a couple opinions. So, but no more valuable than yours. So, what do you what have you been thinking about this?
Man, I believe the count is 24 games. There's 24 away games left for the Brooklyn Nets, if I'm not mistaken. Excuse me, I'm not sure if that's not counting the three he can't play at, or if that's including them. But just for the context for the people at home, he obviously still can't uh, play against the Knicks in Madison Square Garden. And he can't go to Toronto and play the Raptors. So I believe there'll be three away games that he wouldn't be able to play. So 24 games left. That you'll have Kyrie on the road. I I said it the other week when Steve Nash was talking about what am I supposed to do with Kevin Durant playing 40 plus minutes? Like play him less and we lose more, or play him more and we win more. And I said, Scott, you got to figure some shit out if you're the head coach. Looks like they figured some shit out. So I don't want to be a hypocrite here. Like they had to figure something out because Harden isn't looking like the MVP Harden that we've seen in years past, just this past season. And when you see the 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 burden that's been put at Kevin Durant's feet, I've had an issue with it for the past month. We've been doing this pod. I'm like, I enjoy Kevin Durant. I want to see this man in the postseason. He's playing way too many minutes in November at that time and now in December. So I've got no problem with it personally. I think it's a full disclosure. I think it's a dumb rule that New York had instituted. If you're gonna talk about player safety and whatnot, and like if you're employed by New York, I know there's a lot of like red tape there, but no player should be able to walk into Kyrie's place of work unvaccinated. So as soon as I found out that unvaccinated players could go in to the Barclays Center and play, that made no sense to me. I've been on Kyrie's side ever since. Like that doesn't make any sense why he can't play there just because it's a technicality that he's an employee of the state. I get it, but the NBA has got to do better. At that point, because the state rule was stupid, you fix it as a league. No one can go to Barclays or Madison Square Garden without being vaccinated. That way, you're actually being somewhat consistent with the law. Because to me, that makes no sense. I'm with Kyrie. That's dumb as hell. Bradley Beal can walk up in there. He can play all the games he wants to against the Brooklyn Nets, but Kyrie can't. So in that case, I'm happy for Kevin Durant. He's going to have some assistance. They're going to need it. They'll take all they can get. Um, I believe Harden, he'll be able to get his rhythm, a little bit playing off of Kyrie, even if it's on the road. I think we overhype chemistry a little bit, in the media. But when you got dudes that can play at their level like that, they're gonna figure that out. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, I mean, we'll see. It's gonna be interesting, but it's gonna be nice having Kyrie back. He's a show. He's a spectacle.
Oh, there's no doubt about that, man. He's one of the most fun players to watch.
Ever.
It's weird because like I've heard a lot of people talk that they're calling this a move out of desperation and trying to make it a negative thing. And I was like, well, yeah, they're desperate because right now it's Kevin Durant and a bunch of nobodies. And, don't let the standings fool you. Yeah, sure, they're second in the East, I think, right now. But if they were to go up against Milwaukee right now, I don't know anybody that's picking Brooklyn.
Well, if I'm
So,
not mistaken, that's the thing. Real quick, just to piggyback off your point, they're beating all the teams they're supposed to beat. If I'm not mistaken, they have yet to beat a team they're supposed to beat. They have yet to beat Milwaukee. They have yet to beat Miami. So they're like 0-6 against the better teams in the Eastern Conference. So just to piggyback off your point.
yeah, no, 100%. So I'm like, uh, Yeah, you call it desperation move, but I don't think it's, you know, a terrible move. You'd want to get Kevin Durant some minutes, like where he could sit. Like, get this. You can't do this throughout the whole year. You cannot play this guy 40 minutes every night.
Mm-mm.
And because it's not just 40 minutes, it's a hard 40 minutes because you know why? He's your number one defender and he's your number one offensive option. So he's carrying a whole load and it's just not going to be sustainable. We haven't seen that from anybody, let alone somebody coming off an Achilles injury. Um, what I was going to ask you though is there an ulterior motive to bring back Kyrie right now? And do you think they're doing this more as a showcase to one of these teams that can play him in home games before the trade deadline?
Oh no, no.
So you
This
don't think
this
there's no chance that this is to, hey, he has no value right now if he's not playing. Let's play him and get what we can for him.
no. Kyrie got mad value. He'll always have value as long as you're not. As long the only teams he can't go to are California teams because of the mandates in Golden State and in Los Angeles, and he can't go to a New York team. But if you're a team that's not in those two markets, guess what? You absolutely are fully aware of what this man's value is. So I definitely I don't agree with that. But I will say this though, to further my point, the only way he's allowed to come back and play on the road is if they ask Kevin Durant. If like this move has to get approved by Kevin Durant. They got to go to KD and be like, hey, we're thinking about bringing him back. Woo, 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 woo. I wouldn't even be surprised if, because the crazy thing about this report is that came out that Kyrie was going to come back for road games was I saw something, I saw an article like a week before the announcement was made official that Kevin Durant, I believe Chris Haynes did a report on it, that Kevin Durant and Kyrie have been in talks about him potentially returning. And all this was going down when Harden was out and whatnot, and like KD's playing 44, 45 minutes a night. Like, this is definitely something I feel like I'm sure KD talked to Kyrie and he went to management and was like, look, I need this guy. I need help. Because this wasn't something that came out of the blue. Like, I've been reading the tea leaves. Like, they've been discussing, because it went from Kyrie not playing, the Sean Marks came out and said in October that we need camaraderie and all this stuff, chemistry, and we won't allow him to be a part-time player, to him being involved in trade talks, and then Kyrie saying, well, if I get traded, I'll retire. And then it was like dormant for a few weeks, and all of a sudden the trade talks ramped back up, and then you started hearing Katie and Kyrie have been in conversations, and they're excited for potential re, uh, reunion. So now I'm pretty sure Kevin Durant wanted this to happen. I don't think Kevin Durant wants to be on this team, at least for the rest of this season, without Kyrie.
100%. And it just to kind of verify, Sean Marks had remarks, the GM for Brooklyn came out and he literally said that they decided to change their mind due to injuries and health and safety protocols. We arrived at this decision with the full support of our players.
Player.
Yeah, player. And after careful consideration of our current circumstances, including players missing games due to injuries and health, we believe that the addition of Kyrie will not only make us a better team, but allow us to more optimally balance the physical demand on the entire roster.
Which I'm not mad at it. I'm glad they figured some shit out. They give this man some help. You're
No,
paying the guy.
100.
You're still
Mm-hmm.
paying him. So you might as well get his ass to work.
No, 100%. It is weird. People are ripping them, like, because saying that by them changing course, like, it's a shame to what team sports are about because everyone's supposed to be pulling the same direction and blah blah blah. And I'm like, people, like, let the man play basketball. There's no reason he shouldn't be able to play basketball. He's getting
Well,
paid for this.
there is one reason. To those people that had those comments, if Kevin Durant felt the same way you did, guess who would not be back with the team?
Yeah.
Exactly. So as long as KD doesn't mind Kyrie not pulling in the same direction, this man gonna play some basketball because KD needs him out there. So that's what I would say to those people.
No, I think that's It's about right. I'm excited to see him back. Do you have any idea when he can be back? I know he has to get like I think it's 5 negative tests or something like that.
Yeah, I
Something
know as soon
ridiculous.
as he was allowed to come back, I know that he fell right into the protocols. So he's out right now due to COVID. So we don't know. They've been saying that they want to get him some work in, have him ramp up. But apparently, from Kyrie's camp, they've been saying that he's already in like basically peak condition. I mean, it's Kyrie, he's 6'2", a buck 65. Like he's always in basketball shape. So I expect him. I don't think he'll be there for Christmas. I think the league might push for it. The league needs all the superpower they can get on Christmas Day. I think they're trying to get him back by Christmas, but I would be surprised if he's back by Christmas.
Well, Christmas. Are they in LA for that game?
Yes,
Or are they in
yes, sir.
Brooklyn?
We're in LA.
In LA. So he'd be allowed to play at Staples Center?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, interesting.
Right.
Interesting. Well, I mean, I don't know. If you're at Brooklyn, it's a win-win. I I don't see the big uproar. People are trying to make it like about principle and
Yeah, but people got to understand. Like, I'm glad the Brooklyn Nets got smart. Like, they're not going to be the moral compass of COVID at the end of the day. If it's that big of a deal, the CDC can come in, talk to Silver, and they can redo some shit. You know what I'm saying? Like
yeah.
that is not on the Brooklyn Nets. It's on no sports team to be the poster child on how to handle a pandemic. That's not their responsibility. That's not what's in their bottom line. That's not what's in their best interest. Their best interest is to go out there and win games. And when you have talent on a roster and on a payroll of James Harden, Kyrie Irving, and Kevin Durant, they need to get to a finals and they need to win that finals for this to be a success. Because 20 years from now, when COVID's not a thing anymore, and you look back on history, at the end of the day, all people will say is those three teamed up and they failed.
Mm-hmm.
So
That's
they're in the business of winning games.
I think it's a really good point, man. Again, it'll be interesting. The Kyrie coming back, you're gonna get a lot of firepower on that team, and you kind of need him too because as I was saying before, like I don't think they'd beat Milwaukee because if they got in the playoff series right now, right? Let's say best case scenario, Giannis and KD cancel each other out, and now it's hey, your best 2 through 12 versus my best 2 through 12, and that's not even a contest at that point.
No, no, no. And to make matters even worse, COVID, are we gonna go to a bubble for the postseason? Because this is gonna be some shit right now. Like we'll talk about it a little later, but Silver came out. He already said like there's no plans on shutting down this season. There's no plans. They've already put the protocols in to get dudes from the G League to come up on hardship exemptions, and all that stuff. He was like, we ain't stopping the season. So I just hope by that time we have a bubble for the postseason. Otherwise, I might not even watch playoff basketball. I might not even watch.
Oh, so you're calling for the bubble to return?
Absolutely, because I'm not gonna lie to you, Scott. It's disheartening. I'm a Laker fan, but I'm a basketball fan first, and I'm cool. We're in the regular season, but if dudes keep missing games like this, and I have lineups out here that I don't even know who these dudes are. Like tonight, the Dallas Mavericks beat damn, I forgot who they
Minnesota. They played
Minnesota,
Minnesota.
and Jalen Brunson pops off for 28, and I don't even know who else is in the lineup. Porzingis didn't play on for Dallas, nor did Luka or Porzingis. So I'm like, bro, we got these no name dudes out here balling in these lineups. I'm like, bro, who the hell is this dude? Like, this is not basketball to me. This is not the NBA. So I don't know. I'm not a fan of it. Like, shut this shit down. If you got to go on a hiatus for 3 weeks, figure some shit out. Figure it out because it's gonna get real janky towards the end of the season for playoff seeding with this, with the what do you call the playing tournament, like with the wins and losses. Like this is just getting dumb right now. Tonight was another example of that for the Lakers. Obviously, we don't have Anthony Davis, but we got dudes out here. Isaiah Thomas, love his heart and all that stuff. Love the story. He can't be getting minutes. DeAndre Jordan's out there getting way too many minutes because Dwight Howard just got back from COVID protocol and we're compromised. Like it's not a good brand of basketball to watch across the league right now. I want my bubble back or figure some shit out. I know hockey, the NHL, they're going to suspend their season for a minute. I believe they said 3 weeks during the holiday vacation and resume back again. Like they need to figure something out right now because this is not what I want to see.
I just have a hard time believing the players are going to sign off on a bubble again.
They're
Hearing
not. They're not.
the comments from all of them afterwards and stuff, I don't think they're interested in another bubble. It's a shame. I've I'm not going to go like too personal in my beliefs or anything like that, but the science is when these young healthy dudes, they should be okay with this. You know what I mean? And
Mhm.
if I don't know, talking about NBA players, I don't think any of these guys are at real risk. Um,
Like again, and then to your point, there's you have the thing where is the league doing this for aesthetic or do they really care? I know you've got football players saying the exact same thing. Baker Mayfield stressed his issues on the way they test, like for aesthetic, or is it really for player safety? So no, there's so much. All I'm saying is
and if it was for player safety, then I'm sorry. I watch League Pass. You watch League Pass. How many times do
mhm,
you see fans in the front row like no mask, like yelling at these guys, like
mhm.
so like if they're not gonna, you know, if they're really about safety, then these arenas would be on board with that too. So I
That's
don't
what
know.
I'm
It's a lot
like.
of
Let
showy
them
stuff.
let them play or don't. And if you, my whole thing is this though, you cannot be having the faces of your league missing games due to this when all with all the other inconsistencies. That's my only issue. You got to make up your mind if you're the NBA because I'm not going to watch these games. I'm sorry, I'm not going to watch when the Chicago Bulls are decimated. There's no Zach Levine, no DeMar DeRozan, and no Vucevic. Why am I going to watch that game? Like, what are we doing here? Like we watch for the players. This isn't the NFL where the casual fan is fan of the teams. This is the NBA. This is a star driven league. You cannot have your stars not suited for health and safety protocols, but we have all these other inconsistencies. I'm not riding the fence on either side. I'm just saying whatever if they're doing this for aesthetic, if they're doing this for player safety, be consistent with either one of the two. I just need some consistency across the board.
It'll be interesting to see. I don't know. I don't see anything major happening. I hope not, at least. I just want a clean season, man.
I want a clean season too. My guess is this. I believe, I'm not sure how they'll pull this off. You'll be able to test positive, but as long as you're asymptomatic, you can play. If you test positive, as long as you have no symptoms, you'll be playing. I feel like the league will allow that. That's the only way we can get through a clean season, quote unquote clean. That's the only way. It's either that or the bubble. And like you said it, these players from every story I've heard, they ain't doing no more bubble. So the league is probably gonna, if as long as you're asymptomatic or whatever the bullshit is, they'll figure something out. But they're not gonna have these dudes missing games in the postseason. I can't believe that.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense. You're gonna start seeing guys wearing masks on the court.
It's they gonna do something. Hey, I don't mind that as long as they're able to play. Like I don't care. I just need the faces out there. Figure it out.
Fair enough, man. Um, Earlier we kind of hinted at the Lakers Brooklyn matchup for Christmas. Got a couple more games on that day. I think starting out right, you get the first round rematch, Atlanta, New York. Um, the Knicks, man, they're just
Real quick. You said Atlanta at New York.
let me double check, see if it's at New York.
It's
This
got to be
is
at New York, right? They
this
gonna
is
do straight dirty.
in MSG.
Of course, of course.
The Hawks started both teams kind of disappointed early on. The Hawks 14 and 15, the Knicks 14 and 17. The difference here is I feel like the Hawks still have upside to them. Trae Young still he's putting up crazy numbers. He's averaging 27 and 9. The Knicks, they just don't have any offense really, but then
Except
it,
Kimba.
Kemba's not even in the rotation anymore. Like,
He's back. Last two games, he's balling out.
yeah, it's that reliable. We'll see. I don't know.
He might, you know what? You're right. Because Thibodeau might, he may not play him for whatever the reason is on Christmas.
I mean, you never know, dude. And this team played back in the end of November. The Knicks took the win. Um, so I don't know. It'll be interesting. See, anytime I think Trey Young in a prime time spotlight game, I'm tuning in.
You have to. It's weird because I don't want to say that's kind of some home court for him because he loves that stage. This man's taking bows at center stage last year in the postseason. Man, it's crazy because I'm not a Knicks fan. I'm not really a Hawks fan either. I do enjoy Julius Randle. I root for him, former Laker, and I root for Ice Trey. But man, I had chills when I saw that. We hadn't had fans for so long in the arenas. And to see the show that Trey put on in MSG last year was special. Like that crowd was rocking the boos. Trey's balding. He's just silencing them with these floaters. And it was great theater to watch. Trey in Madison Square Garden is must watch TV.
After that, you're gonna get some Boston Celtics at
Why are they
the
on Christmas?
NBA champion Milwaukee Bucks. I think it's because it's Christmas, green and red, so they
They
just get
really
the.
trying to sell. They really trying to sell Tatum. This is the powers that be doing powerful stuff. Like they're like, we got to get Tatum a prime time game because this is ridiculous.
I mean, I think it's just the Boston, like for some reason the NBA has to drive the Boston market, even though they're probably like the third popular team in their own marketplace. But for some reason, I know they have the banners and stuff, but I don't know, the NBA pushes them like they're the Lakers, which they're just not.
If they have any sort of talent on that roster, they get pushed, and that's what. No disrespect to Jason Tatum, I think he's more than just a talent, but because they have that guy on there, you're right, they're definitely gonna push.
But I totally expect a blowout here. Um, I do, man. Like this is just a matchup I don't like for Boston. They've watching them play like they're just soft, and Milwaukee is anything but. Like they're coming at you with bigs. They're gonna beat you up on the boards. They're gonna beat you up at the free throw line.
This
And
is not five serve form. The Bucks are at home.
Bucks are at home. And if the big three's playing, like they have been dominant this season.
Dominant, dominant. Damn. Well, we're gonna move on because I
Yeah.
agree.
The next Christmas game, you get Golden State at Phoenix. This is gonna be round 3 for the regular season. I'm just not a fan of all these games compacted so close. It's one thing in the playoffs, but in the regular season, like it's a situation where Clay's gonna eventually come back, and we'll maybe never even see him play against Phoenix. You know what I mean? So you're gonna get the same versions going up against each other. When the truth is, the team you are in the beginning of the season is not the team you are at the end of the season.
No,
Um, Phoenix at home, it's toss up. Both teams fighting for that number 1 seed. Should be a good game though on ABC. And then we got Brooklyn,
can I get a
LA.
prediction from you though? Because I believe we do have intel that Clay's not returning for that game. I think they're looking at January 3rd for him. So just assuming Clay does not play, but everyone else plays, can I get a prediction from you on that game?
Sure. Christmas game. Let's go. I'm gonna go with the classic point guard duel. Curry puts up 32. Chris Paul puts up 23 and like 12. And I'm gonna go with the Phoenix victory.
You Ryan Phoenix this year. I like it. All right. I'm gonna let's say the chef goes off for 36. I'm gonna say Chris Paul has a double double. He puts up about 20 and 10, 20 points and assists. And Draymond Green puts up a triple double. And the Dubs get the win on the road.
All right, fair enough. I
By the way,
oh, go ahead, go ahead, go ahead.
fun fact. Do you know what the Warriors are when Draymond Green has a triple double?
Oh, this is fun. How many games is it? Is this like for his career or like this
Yeah,
season?
yeah.
For his career, I'm gonna guess how many
I'll give
triple
you
doubles
less
he
than
have?
50,
30,
less than
30. Does he have 30 triple doubles?
I can't answer that question.
How can you not answer that? I need if you want me to
It's
give
less
you a
than 50
record.
games. It's less than 50 games.
Okay, I'm gonna say they're winning 80% of their games when he has a triple double.
You're not ready for this stat.
Okay, let's hear it.
He's had 31 career triple doubles.
Wow, I guess 30. Why couldn't you not? You couldn't let me have that.
Scott, they are 30-1 when Draymond posts a triple double.
I want to know what that loss is.
That's what. Oh, I can tell you. It's isn't that the finals? Didn't he put up a triple double in the finals and LeBron beat him?
In game seven,
Did he do a triple double? He had 32 points, 15 rebounds. He might have had like seven. I'm not sure. But if it is in the playoffs, it's definitely game seven of the finals.
so I this is an interesting stat because when you're talking about a Draymond triple double, right? He's I would it has to guarantee a Warriors victory because for him to get 10 assists, that means the shooters are hitting the shots. So that they're hitting threes.
Uh-huh.
If he's got 10 plus points, that means he's probably hitting his shots.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And the rebounds are always going to be there. But like, yeah, no. Yeah, if he's getting triple double, that means everybody's clicking for Golden
He's
State.
so important to that team. It's insane. Draymond's a monster. He's a monster, bro.
We can get back to Draymond. Um,
He needs an episode. He needs like a segment. We'll work it back in on another pod for sure.
all right. Brooklyn at Lakers. Who knows who's playing? Who knows what's happening with this game? My favorite thing is as I'm looking at this, the two players they're featuring are Kevin Durant and Anthony Davis, who's out for about a month. So good job, NBA.com. Uh, I gotta tell you, I don't like this game for the Lakers. I know it's at home. I know LeBron and Russ are going to get up. Russ is always up to play against his old friend Kevin Durant. But I haven't seen anything from this Laker team for me to give you confidence they're going to win any game, let alone a big one.
So you have Brooklyn is plus over under 10.
I'm gonna say it's a 8 point game.
Eight point game. Okay, Katie what just takes over in the fourth.
No, I think with like a minute 30 left, it's a close game. LeBron's gonna miss a la fuck it, and and the Nets pull it with free throws.
Okay, okay. I'm gonna say everyone's back for the late show except Anthony Davis. Malik is out of COVID protocols. We Austin Reeves back. We come together and we knock off the number one seed in the East on Christmas Day. I think LeBron and KD are gonna put on a ridiculous show at Staples. I think it's gonna be absolutely nasty. I think it's gonna be one of those classics that we look back on. I think KD goes for 40. I'm assuming this is no Kyrie, by the way. I'm assuming no Kyrie. KD goes for 40. LeBron goes for about 38 points, and the Lakers win.
Okay. All right. Fair enough, man. I
If
love
Kyrie plays,
LA.
if
Yeah.
Kyrie plays, Lakers lose by 25.
Interesting. Because I didn't say this in the Kyrie thing because as much good as you get when you bring Kyrie back, you get all the craziness with when you get Kyrie back as well, which he's proven year after year. He comes with some baggage.
Oh, 100. Well, first of all, if you're a basketball fan of another team and you're like, oh my God, like fuck, they're back together. Just between this man's injury history alone and the baggage that you alluded to, I would not be concerned with Kyrie. For all we know, in the middle of the season, he could just go and join the Peace Corps. Okay. For all we know. Like, I am not sweating this big three getting back together. I'm just not sweating it. This man literally put his middle finger up and was like, I'm just not going to play. So we've already seen that precedent set. So I would not be worried only if you're a Laker fan on Christmas Day because we're getting blown off the floor. But in the grand scheme of things, with the big three joining back together, if you're a Milwaukee fan, if you're a Chicago fan, I would not be concerned.
All right. And then to wrap up the Christmas slate, we have got at home the Utah Jazz with Donovan Mitchell, budding NBA superstar, um, Rudy Gobert, whatever he is. And then coming into town, you got the Dallas Mavericks. I don't know if Luka's going to play in this game. He's been hurt for, I think he's missed almost 6 games by now.
Yeah, he's
So
been off for about the last like 10 days.
we haven't really talked much Luka. Um, he looks a little fat.
He's out of shape as hell.
He is, right? Okay. So
Yes, he
because I'm
is.
like, he's not getting by guys. Like he's never been like super quick, but he used to be able to get by guys, and I'm not seeing him like really do that. Or you
Well,
could just,
I don't even see him getting up the floor. That's when I'm like, bro, this man is winded.
yeah,
He
I was
looks
gonna
like
say he
LA
looks
Fitness
exhausted.
hooping. Yeah, he can't get up the court.
I don't know. If you're Dallas, you need. Yeah, let me tell you guys, I've moved to Texas, and these people love their sweet tea. All right, I can't stand it, but these people love their sweet tea. Luca, stay off the sweet tea. All right,
Oh my
start
god.
drinking water. You have no excuse, man. Come on.
No.
I know Mark Cuban's got you guys a nice facility. You probably
Oh,
got 10 nutritionists in the whole building. So,
by the way, if you a Dallas fan, you should definitely be concerned about Luca's playing shape because this is now, if I'm not mistaken, this is the second straight season that he's came into the season out of shape. He owned it last year,
yes.
said I was out of shape. This past offseason, he said after the Olympics, he, you know, took a break or whatever and was, eating whatever and doing whatever for a couple weeks. But he's really out of shape right now. And
But
he's starting to get some ticky tack injuries that can kind of be crossed with conditioning. So
it's kind of a theme. And I hope you don't mind if I just branch this off into a different discussion here. But there's some young
Liverpool.
guys. No,
Oh,
there's just some young guys that is kind of concerning to me. You know, the level of physical shape some of these guys in. You talk about Luka like last year and stuff. We heard the excuse. Mark Cuban came out, was like, "Oh well, he didn't get to train with the Slovenian team because of COVID and stuff like that."
mm-hmm.
And then this year, like when he comes back out of shape, and then you're just like, "All right, what are we doing?" Because we've seen the blueprint. We've seen LeBron James. We've seen Kobe Bryant. These guys that have put everything into their bodies to spend $1 million doing everything possible to do it. And like there's just no excuse anymore. You could go to the facility and they have chefs there. Like and the other guy I'm kind of looking at there is Zion. Like some of these pictures we've seen and the reports of this guy coming out like first of all you're hurt obviously and but you're already kind of too big. So when you just add on stuff, I just don't get it. I don't understand the mentality. I don't understand how you can allow that to happen.
I will say this. I'll touch on Zion in a second, but in the Luca case, again, if you're a Dallas fan, you don't like it because this is coming off the offseason where he was asked which one he won more or whatever, like winning an Olympic gold, for the Vin,
Slovenian.
thank you, winning it for their team or winning an NBA championship. And he was like, oh, easily from my country. And like, that's fine, by the way. But his answer was a little dismissive towards his day job, which is what he gets paid to do. So if you're a Dallas fan, you don't like those things, especially with him not taking his conditioning and being a professional. You don't like that. The Zion thing, man, I'm hearing so many things. I've heard he's a bad teammate. I've been hearing that he's fallen asleep during film study. Like there was a report that came out the other day, and I'm like, tell me this is not real. I don't know how legit it is, but there's a report out there that he's fallen asleep during film study. They've had to have conversations with him. So it this is going to be a whole situation going into the offseason for Zion. I believe he's going to be up for that contract. Huh?
Well, my that was my next point is we spent almost like a third of an episode on Zion and how we thought he could be that guy to turn down the rookie extension and kind of take player empowerment to the next moment or next like step. There's no way he could turn down a contract if this is what he's doing. Because one, you have now injury history, but two, like if you're out of shape and you're not committed, like you're gonna bank on a second contract. No, you got to take that extension. Like that whole idea we had is out the window at this point.
That's what I'm thinking. Or is this him trying to turn off the New Orleans Pelicans so he can leave? Because he's not, I still don't, I'm be honest with you right now, with all his endorsements with Mercedes, 2K, Mountain Dew, his sneaker deal, this man got money right now. And I'm with you. You don't want to turn that contract down, especially with your injury history. But he can go anywhere else and they'll pay him. I don't know. I'm starting to lean towards, does he just not want to play again for them? Like, is he so turned off with them? Because I have a hard time believing he'd be acting like this if he was in a place he actually wanted to be in. We've seen from day one he did not want to be in New Orleans. Like it's been clear he doesn't want to be there.
Oh
I
no, yeah.
still don't think he signs that contract.
Draft lottery night.
Oh,
He had New York big lights in his eyes. You could see it when the Knicks got the second pick. You saw it in his face. He was disappointed.
he was so sad. It looked like somebody shot this man's dog. Like, and then they went. New Orleans played in New York, and he balled out. And in the press conference, he was grinning from ear to ear. He's like, it's something about this building, like the Knicks would give him all the money he wants. The Knicks will pay him, injury history and all. If he rejects this contract, he's going to New York. RJ Barrett is there, his Duke teammate. He's going to New York. So I don't know if this is New Orleans trying to put this piece out there about him falling asleep. So maybe that's to deter his professionalism. So no team, along with his injury history, he's kind of like forbidden. You don't really want, sign a dude with an injury history like that. And he's a problem in the locker room. So I don't know what angle to look at this at. All I know is I'd be shocked shitless if Zion signs that extension with him. I would be shocked.
I would. I don't think you could send that message out if you're New Orleans because what kind of message is that sending to your fan base?
Uh,
Like,
if you still offer the contract.
no, no, I'm just talking about like it. That's a rough report. You're falling asleep in meeting rooms and stuff like
Yes,
that.
there's another detail, but I don't want to embellish. But on the next pod, I'll give more context. But that's the one thing that I took from it. He's fallen asleep, and it's happened several times.
If I'm a Pelicans fan, like I'm pissed. I'm pissed, dude. Like there's
But you're
no
not
way.
surprised though. If you're a Pelicans fan, you're not surprised. You don't want to be there. It kind of rings of the Jason Tatum situation in Boston. Boston fans know good and well he's a future Laker. I'm sorry. They're fully aware of this. This man's wearing purple armbands in Boston when we play him. He's posting on IG him at center court at Staples Center with a Laker in the background. Like, I don't care what NBA promotion they came to him with. For him to wear that Laker purple and gold threads and recreate the shot off of Wade, because I know they asked LaMelo to do Magic, and they had LaMelo in the Laker uniform as well. That is a Boston Celtic. You say no. You say no. You cannot don our uniform like that. So that's kind of what this smacks of. If you're a Pelicans fan, nothing that comes out about Zion is going to surprise you besides him coming out saying, I want to stay here. That's the only thing that might surprise the Pelicans fan right now.
That would be pretty damn surprising.
No, he don't, he don't want to be there, fam. Like, this is not breaking news.
All right, let's see. I don't know if you caught the news. Apparently Steve Kerr is going to be taking over USA basketball.
Yes, yes. I believe your guy, Monty Williams, is the lead assistant coach. That was made public a few hours ago as well.
I want to see him go into the Slovenian locker room and try to speak some European prayer.
That's such a bad look, bro. I have no use for him. First, you don't build the wall. You're the only playoff team to not build the wall against Giannis and lose. And then you go into the locker room.
It was so uncomfortable. It was just like, man, like, because we've all
And
been there, dude, where there's somebody just like you don't want around, just kind of like
especially
there.
taking your moment. Man, I would have been on Ox, Scott. I would have blasted the music over him. I don't give a fuck. That's my moment. Do not walk in here while this champagne is flowing. No one's, you know how I get down, Scott. It's time to turn up. It's time to turn up. You weren't invited. All this social media out here at the team, at the team to the Milwaukee Bucks. A great season you guys have. We couldn't have lost to a better deserving champion, blah, blah, blah. All this social media, go on Facebook, you could tweet it, do an IG post. Do not walk in my locker room
It's
and
not
have me
about you.
stop the bubbly. I'm getting fucked up and I am blasting the ox. I am going off. I can't with Monty Williams. I can't.
Yeah, it's not a good look, but congrats, Steve Kerr. I think he's the perfect coach for that team. I think his system is the perfect one for great players. Um, I'm really excited to see what USA basketball looks like under new direction.
I'm very excited. However, I am a Laker fan first. I'm a little concerned because it's definitely a cheat code and an advantage into free agency because with players starting their own friendships, don't get it twisted. Steve Kerr is personable enough and he's got enough cachet now. I don't really want him around no free agents. So I don't care what summer it is. But for USA basketball, I don't think there's a better coach. But I got to keep my eye on him a little bit when I see these rosters get filled out. Because Golden State's a nice market, man. That's a nice market.
I don't know if there's many players that have the balls to do what Kevin Durant did because it's literally what I mean. It's not the same thing, but like since he joined that team, I don't know if there's any real big time free agents. It's like I'm gonna do what he did.
Clearly not Damian Lillard. So um, I agree with you. I don't really see dudes. Well, by the way, by the time the next Olympic situation rolls around, the Warriors dynasty will be done. So I'm not really worried about that. We need our stint after LeBron and everything. So I'm just kind of concerned about that. But no, he's the perfect coach for the job, and I don't really see dudes, out here that I feel like would do that. I think there's dudes that would leave their situation, but to join, I, I don't see that either, if I'm being honest with you. I just don't see. I don't think anyone wants what KD dealt with because he got killed for it. Like I still
I
think it's
don't
a weak, but
I don't
he
know if
got
anybody would
killed.
get killed the way he did. That's I don't think that's what it is. It's like you're kind of a biter. You know what I mean?
He said,
Uh,
"Oh, Biden."
like I want a title, so let me do what that guy did to get it.
You know
I'm
what?
joined.
Though? To further your point, we don't really have any dudes in the league good enough. It wasn't a problem that KD went there. Well, it was, but the bigger problem was the talent that KD possessed going there. Like, I love Dame, but he still ain't. He's not giving you. Even if he would have joined the Lakers this past offseason, and we've got Anthony Davis, we saw what that looks like now. But we got Anthony Davis, LeBron, and Dame. He is not 7 foot Kevin Durant. Kevin Durant was a different kind of problem. Like, that would be the equivalence. I don't even know if we have any stars like that. It's still KD. It would be like Giannis leaving Milwaukee in free agency and going to go join Steph, Clay, and Draymond.
Going to
Like,
Brooklyn. Like
oh, no, no, no. Go to Brooklyn. Let's say Brooklyn wins the ring. Kyrie puts the stage down.
last
Harden
year,
drops
right?
the
The
pass.
last season,
Yes,
KD's foot's not on the line.
his foot's not on the line. And they win a title last year. And Giannis says, you know what? Bump this. I'm going to Brooklyn. That would be the equivalence. There's no other player besides Giannis and KD right now that can shift like that. Like, we don't have that. You know what I'm saying? Like, these dudes ain't on that level. They're not on the KD or maybe the Joker.
I was gonna
The
say
Joker.
Jokic.
Jokic saying,
Jokic.
I'm gonna go to Golden State and be there 5. Imagine.
Yeah, no, then it would be pretty scary. But good
That
thing we
would
don't
be
have to
scary.
deal with that.
We ain't gotta deal with that. We ain't gotta deal with that. I've been looking at everybody's free agency and I'm like, we ain't gotta worry about that.
I still got an eye on Sabonis though. Sabonis could end up in Golden State.
Yeah, and it would be a big deal, but it ain't. It ain't,
But he's not one of those guys. Yeah,
no, but it's a big deal though for sure. But I just want to throw this out here, throw this out there though. But no, I'll say it for another episode. I'll say it for another episode.
fair enough, man. I kind of a quicker one today. Before we get off, do you have a favorite NBA Christmas moment?
Wow, a favorite NBA Christmas moment. I would probably say 2012 Lakers versus Knicks, and the Knicks had the
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 cheddar
highlighter
orange,
orange.
the highlighter
You
orange,
said cheddar.
and Kobe and Melo just went at it. They both had 30 apiece, came down to the wire, but like that's the most vivid one in my mind. I could go back to when Shaq first went against Kobe in '05. That one
4.
was 2004. The suspense. Oh my goodness! Like, the theater was ridiculous. You had the Corvette posters in the crowd. You had the Diesel in the crowd. Like, the NBA marketed the hell out of that Shaq versus Kobe one. That was ridiculous. But those are probably the two that stand out the most. Now, there's other memories that they're not my favorite. Like, wait, don't go off the backboard to LeBron against the Lakers on Christmas Day. Like, that shit rings a bell. I don't like it, but I can't. Yeah. LeBron abusing us that day was crazy.
I got a couple for you. So remember, I think it was 2017. Kyrie Irving hits the game winner right on
The
Clay.
travel over Clay.
The
Yeah,
travel that
yeah.
was a nice move, dude.
It's a travel and a half, fam. Everyone knows that's a travel. But
Um,
I remember that one.
2000,
Wait.
2008.
Hold on, real quick. Did RJ also have like a dunk in that game?
Yes, on the baseline, he just fucking Statue of Liberty that shit.
He did. He went up on the elevator. Okay, okay. Okay.
Um, 2008, right? The rematch of the finals actually, where the Lakers snapped the Celtics 19 game win streak, uh,
Mm,
and which also happened to be Phil Jackson 1000th win as a coach.
it was. It was.
But ultimately, my favorite one is the Shaq Kobe. Kobe puts up 42 and 04.
Oh, that one was
And
crazy.
I mean, the Heat end up winning in
Yeah.
overtime, but Kobe put on a
We knew
show.
we got the best player. Like, we traded the right guy away. That's what that game was. We traded the right dude away.
That was a good one. All righty, guys. That's gonna do it for today, but we'll be back next week probably. So, anything else you want to part ways with?
Happy holidays and Laker Nation, hang in there, and yeah.